Okay, it looks like it's recording. All right. Wonderful. So welcome to this week's Thriving Thursday from ACA. So this one's about finding motivation, how to keep going when the going gets tough, especially when midterms are starting to happen and we're moving through. So we'll talk through strategies about how to keep us motivated going forward for the rest of the semester and beyond. My name is Leah. I am the Academic Success Coordinator out of the Academic and Career Advising Center. We're back in Alcoin Hall this semester, which is great. And I will pass it to Keita.
Hi, everybody. I'm Keita Adobe. Welcome. I'm the Academic Success Specialist, so I work with Leah with academic coaching and also teaching the PACU 155 class. And you can find me on the second floor of Stream.
Awesome.
Okay. So for today, we're just going to be focusing on making our academic motivational plans. So there is I believe, a link that we have dropped in the chat for you to use. So go ahead and click into that. There is a fillable PDF for you can work on it while we go, or you can just sit and listen while we're working and fill it later. This is just a way for you to strategically think about what you want to do for motivation and academic success, and setting yourself up for a plan for the rest of the semester. And it doesn't also have to apply to academics. You can tweak it to your other needs. It's just to think, abstractly about what you want to do for motivating you and getting you ready for your plan of action. So your academic motivation plan, it's really what we want to do is to identify the things that make you feel motivated and want to pursue an education. And all of these things will tie into your course selections and your educational experiences, while also utilizing the resources and tools that are available to you on campus. It will also help you acknowledge your strengths and improve the areas of growth while you're at school as well. This should help you develop plans for meeting with your instructors or professors, academic advisors, academic coaches, even tutoring. And it's also going to help identify your support networks to keep you going when the going gets tough. So for just a moment, we're going to reflect. We often like to take a moment to reflect on some just questions, because it is a powerful tool that will kind of help you see inside of yourself to think, what is motivation for me personally? What does that mean to me? So just take a moment to reflect, and I'll go through the questions. And again, you can come back to this later, or you can work through it as we go. But begin to think, what is my motivation? What is my motivation to invest in education and earn my degree at Pacific? And once you graduate, you do earn your degree. What do you want to use that degree for? In what context do you want to apply this degree? What is your dreams or ambitions in careers or in experiences? And then lastly, the question of just, I believe the skills that are necessary to earn this degree from Pacific University are. So what are the specific things or the things that you require to earn this degree? So now that we've spent a little bit of time reflecting on these overall motivations, we're going to focus on a specific strategy called SMART goals. And SMART goals are great because they're designed to help you have specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely goals, so that you see the progress as it's happening and you're able to achieve them in a considerable amount of time that works for you. So we're going to take some time today just to practice setting some goals. Again, if you want to go through and fill out the PDF, that's great. If not, you can just go ahead and listen to us walk you through it.
Wonderful. Okay, so step one is setting goals. I think we had some time to reflect on the big picture stuff, right? So what is your why? Why are you attending Pacific? Why are you attending college? What are your overall goal or goals? And those are really great in terms of revisiting when you feel lack of motivation, but trying to make or kind of find smaller goals to lead to those bigger goals, right? So instead of thinking about like my overall goal is to get my degree, right, over the next however many years, what are some things that you can have, like academic goals that you can focus on for this semester? You can do more if you'd like. Remember to try and keep it as specific as possible, measurable, so it's easier to track, attainable, so keeping it something you do right within this semester rather than over the whole course of the years, right? Making it smaller is helpful. Realistic and then timely. Trying to do this as best as you can, right? Knowing that sometimes we have goals that are more general, and that's okay too. But if you have them more of these boxes around checking the boxes of the SMART goals, it allows us to kind of tangibly put these into action. So some examples would be like turn in 8 to 10 homework assignments this semester, complete reading assignments on Mondays, right? So having a goal of each week, I'm going to complete my reading on Mondays. Attending 85% of your class for the semester might be a good goal as well. But right, making them specific to this semester, maybe to a specific class, maybe to how you do your homework or what you're going to complete when kind of thing. So as you're thinking about goals for the semester that build up towards your overall purpose and why you're attending college, thinking about how to make them as smart and specific as possible.
So for step 2, we want to recognize and just see what are some possible challenges in our lives. So what are these barriers or obstacles that you might confront as you work towards your goal throughout the semester? And you can think, back in previous semesters or maybe during high school or other times that you felt challenged or, other obstacles that are out of your handle, right? So this could be anything from being chronically unwell, physically or mentally. A lot of folks are coming in with a variety of things every single day, to classes, to even coming on campus, right? It's if you think holistically, I'm sure there's a lot of people who come in with these struggles, right? That may be visible, maybe invisible. Commuting to and from campus. This is a big one. I know there's a lot of students that commute to Pacific, and driving takes a lot of time, especially during those high traffic hours, which may, impede on your time to participate in classes or during homework, and take away from the time that you would rather spend, doing your work. And this also includes working full-time or part-time. It's very common students that work full-time or part-time are finding time, right, in between your shifts, in between other extracurriculars, to do the work. So these are possible challenges that could impede on your capability to do schoolwork or to just meet your goals that you're wanting to achieve.
All right, so now that we have thought through some specific SMART goals and some possible challenges that might come up, we're going to think about creating an action plan. So knowing the resources and support you'll need when those challenges arise, right? So are you connected to resources already? So this could be resources on campus, like the Student Counseling Center, clubs and orgs, class tutoring, academic coaching, lots of other resources, or it can be some personal resources too, right? So it could be, right, maybe you've got support for a commuting partner, if we're talking about the commuting being a challenge, right? Having a person you drive to school with, right, to share that load. Right. So it could be something informal or formal, basically on campus or off. But just thinking about those so you have the resources. And then if you are connected already, great. If not, how can you get connected, right? So who do you already know on campus or who can help connect you to them? And then we're going to talk about some individual action steps. So rather than external resources, kind of internal skills or strategies for motivation and support when things arise. So kind of 3 areas we're going to focus on around motivational strategies when these challenges come up. So I'll talk through the first one, which is making things easier, right? So how can you, when the going gets tough, make things easier for yourself, right? So planning out the steps to get your project done, breaking down a huge assignment into small pieces, right? So looking at one step at a time and how you can tackle those one steps along the way versus trying to look at the whole project all at once. Planning a time to get started on it. So just putting it in your calendar saying, I'm going to start this project or this study task I have to do at this specific time. When you've already kind of set a plan that you're going to do it, it's easier to actually start if you've already kind of told yourself you're going to. So just planning a time to get started on it. Getting started also thinking about short things, right? It might just be 10 minutes and that's okay. It doesn't have to be like 3 hours of time. Planning time for fun breaks. So if you've met with Kata or I or any academic coach or probably any academic advisor in the ACA, or have attended our time management kind of webinar or seen that presentation previously, you'll know that we tend to be pretty big on taking care of ourselves. So yes, you might want to tackle things all at once and study something for 5 hours straight. But really our brains can't focus for more than probably an hour max at a time. And that's thinking about a neurotypical brain. So if you have a neurodivergent brain, it might be like 10 minutes at a time that we can focus, right? So thinking about how do you build in small breaks, right? Not huge long breaks. You don't want the breaks to overtake the work time you're doing, but how do you build in energy fillers or joy filler activities throughout your day to avoid the burnout, right? So spreading out your work into kind of time chunks, whether it's a half an hour and then a 15-minute break or 45 minutes and then a 15-minute break, but knowing having some strategies and some ideas about what gives you energy and fills your bucket up. Like right now today, it's so nice that it's sunny. I can see the sun. So between my meeting that ended at 11:15 and this, I was like, Keita, we're not hopping in at 11:30. I need to go and walk, right? So building in that energy reset for me is super important so then I can be present and focus on the next thing to come up. So try to find time for fun breaks, whether those are throughout the day, like I would say build it in as best you can, or if it's throughout your week, but trying to prioritize things that give you energy to help beat the burnout. And then pointing yourself downhill. So at the end of the day or at the end of the time you're studying, look to the next session and be like, okay, here's the checklist for what I'm going to do next study session. So I've studied this part of this chapter. I'm now going to, for the next time I'm studying, these are the topics I'm going to cover. Or I finished this part of the project. Next time, this is what I'm going to start on. So when you get to that next session, you already have basically a checklist or you've decided what you're going to do. So you don't come to that next study session and are like, okay, where do I start? You've kind of already planned that in. All right. So that is one section. Another area is just getting started. So it kind of aligns with some of the pieces we've said already, but start with 10 minutes rather than being like, I need at least an hour to study, right? Sometimes it is nice to get in and focus, but even if we just say, okay, I'm going to start reading this chapter, I'm going to read for the 10 minutes between class, right? I'm just going to start it. Even if you have more than that time, right? Just basically, again, breaking the big things down into small chunks. Sorry. So just getting started for 10 minutes. And then chances are you'll probably continue going once you get in the flow. Don't take it in all at once. Again, breaking it down. So not having the big thing all at once, doing it in chunks. Doing it first and doing it right away. So I would say this one, and same with the starting easy or starting hard. I think it depends on who you are, right? So some people doing it first or doing it right away, like people have said, it's called eating the frog, right? Do the big thing that you don't want to do first. So then the rest of the day is easier. Right. It's much easier to do homework right after class or right, like rather than going and doing fun things and then getting back to the stuff you don't want to do. But also I think it really depends on who you are. So paying attention to your energy levels. And if you're right after class, you're super burnt out, don't start, right? Don't do homework. That's where you build in those breaks. So yes, I would say doing it first and doing it right away is a tactic that works, but may not work for everybody. So knowing who you are and when you thrive and when you feel most awake and focused is probably That's where I'd argue doing your work is knowing, like, if you're a night person, great. Do your homework when you're focused and awake, right? That makes sense. And it may not align with what society tells us is the right way to do it, I guess. Yeah. Starting easier, starting hard, same kind of thing. Some people really like to do the easy stuff first because it builds your momentum, right? So great, I did my math homework problems because they were easy to do and I got those through. Now I'm going to tackle my writing project, or I did my language small, like, discussion post, but now I'm going to hop into studying for chemistry, right? So sometimes starting easy to double check or to check off things and feel good about, hey, I'm doing things and it's I'm getting through stuff is helpful. Sometimes starting hard and getting the biggest thing out of the way first to have everything else feel easier also is another strategy. So kind of aligning your workload in a way that makes sense for you. All right, and then Kate is going to talk about this one.
So yeah, motivational techniques or strategies that help you, again, counteract those possible challenges. So rewards and accountability, a lot of people find that these are helpful when maybe you get a, like, buy yourself a little treat at the end of the week, treat yourself to something that, reinforces, rewards, holds up your accountability, anything really that creates a system where you do feel supported. So, right, we can talk about material things, but we can also talk about our support systems with other people. So one of the things that we like to practice in academic coaching is finding a partner. We like to call them accountability partners or accountability buddies. So this is someone who could be in your class, who could be in a similar organization as you, that's working towards the same goal that will help motivate you along the way. So it is easy to, right, let yourself off the hook or let things slide past you in the week. But when you have an accountability partner, you may feel less inclined to let things slide. And you're also surrounding yourself with people who may have other tactics or other strategies of motivation that you could find really positive or energetic, that will inspire you to also get started. And then finding a support system, right? It's easier said than done, having connections, having resources, having people that really truly want to see you succeed and do your best. That you need to find the people that will help you continue to move forward in your projects. So increasing your accountability with family or a friend or a classmate, you're more likely to follow through. Someone is going to ask you about it later, especially if they know you personally already and they know your tendencies or they know your habits. They can help you establish a pattern that's more effective for you. And then talking about a reward system, like I mentioned earlier. So this reward system will keep you motivated. If you don't finish the task, you don't get the little treat at the end of the week, right? So finding a realistic reward to help you get creative. Some people, really like to go out and maybe treat themselves to a nice coffee or a nice lunch at the end of the week. For others, I know a big motivator is being able to watch their favorite shows or their favorite movies and spend quality time with other people, like their friend groups. So this is that establishing a reward system, something that you can work towards. Some for others, creating competition. So for many people, having that light competition, right? Especially we find that with people who are naturally in a competitive, they have a competitive nature, kind of have this desire to win or accomplish a goal that helps you get started and interacts with the competitive side of you. So this can be with yourself by setting your own personal goals. Some people really benefit from setting these fake deadlines, which are deadlines that we set for ourselves that are not necessarily aligned with the actual due date of the project or assignment or homework, but it kicks in that competitive energy and that competitive nature to say how quickly can I get this done, or and what succession can I get this done, to create that competition. And then for others, measuring your progress. So finding a way to track that you've accomplished and see your progress and results. So I know personally I benefit from checking off boxes. I know Leah also likes to check boxes as well. So having a to-do list to see, oh, look how much I've accomplished and look how much I still have to go. It helps you visualize and understand, checking off your list will motivate you and also help you celebrate your accomplishments. So those are some of the strategies that help you kind of counteract. And these, again, like Leah said in the previous slides that, these may work for some people, they may not work for others, but these are potential ways that you could help counter that potential challenge.
And I wanted to just point out the difference between the reward system and kind of what we talked about earlier, which was kind of filling your day with the fun breaks, right? Yes, those can also be rewards, but I would argue that those breaks are necessary to continue to move forward for yourself. So where this says you didn't finish the task, you don't get the reward. The fun breaks, you get whether or not you do the thing you said. So, right, like it's really intentionally paying attention to your energy levels and noticing like, okay, yeah, I didn't get this done like I said I wanted to get it done today. Give yourself some grace, recognize you need a break and you need to fill your energy up, and then you can come back and attack the task or tackle it. So reward systems are good as long as you're not punishing yourself to a certain extent. So paying attention to that, because you want to make sure that with burnout, you want to make sure that you're refilling your energy bucket as best you can on a regular basis, whether or not that shouldn't depend on whether or not you get your quote unquote to-do list done for the day. Right.
Thank you for making that clarification.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify for myself as well.
Mhm.
All righty. All right.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, so step 4, like that support network that we chatted about, using different resources on campus can be very, very helpful for students, especially, battling feelings of misplacement, maybe imposter syndrome, feeling like you're not supported or heard or seen or received on campus. Um, you know, outside of just like group organizations or other opportunities like class tutoring or the student counseling center, right? We talked a little bit about accountability partners, academic coaches, which Lee and I are academic coaches, and also attending things like instructor office hours. So these are additional support systems. They can be academic, they can be part of the organization, but typically it's individual people who are going to help you, and building up these people in your life to support you and hold that network for you as well. So creating intimate partnerships with that within education, within academic coaches, it helps a lot for folks to feel like they can have someone that they can trust to talk to, and that they'll be able to chat through what they're worried about or what their needs are.
Yeah, and these can be both on and off campus, right? So these could be family members, these could be significant others, these could be really good friends, right? Like, who are you surrounding yourself with to lift you up and cheer you on and help you achieve your goals?
Okay, so post this plan somewhere where you can see it, maybe revisit it. For some folks, this might look like posting it on your wall so you can see it every day. For others, this may just be something that you think about and reflect just for today. But throughout the semester, try and revisit this, especially when the going gets tough, as a reminder of the resources that you have, the support networks and the people in your life that, like Leah said, are cheering you on, are here for you, and other motivational strategies to, help keep you going, to help keep you motivated to finish and achieve the goals that you have set for yourself.
At this time, we'll open it up for questions. I'm gonna pause the recording since that's the end. And then we can open it up for questions. Let me stop the recording. Maybe. I know where that button is. Stop recording.